Man, what's going on, y'all? I hope you're having a blessed, fruitful day, and I hope you read your word today. But if you didn't, stick around. And if you already did, but you want to learn something new, let's do it. Man, Halloween is here. And a lot of believers are using this holiday as an excuse to do what their flesh has been craving all year. I'm talking about partying. And I don't just mean hanging out with a few friends. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Some of us feel that it's not that deep. Some go willingly, while others try to twist scripture to feel better about that compromise. Some of us even go because we believe we're strong enough not to sin. But before you make any excuses for darkness, let's dive into scripture and see what God says. As always, let's dive into some encouraging scripture behind that. We're in Romans chapter 6, verses 1 and 2. Well then, should we keep on sinning so that God can show us more and more of his wonderful grace? Of course not. Since we have died to sin, how can we continue to live in it? Guys, what Paul is telling us here is that grace is not a cover for our compromise. It's also not a license so that we can go and freely play in the darkness that Christ died to free us from. And a lot of us are saying, well, man, I'm just going to hang out with friends. Or I'm not going to hook up with nobody. I'm not even going to drink. Or you guys say, God knows my heart. And yeah, he does. That's the problem. He knows when you're using grace as a loophole to feed into your desires. Galatians 5 tells us that we've been called to walk in freedom. But it also says not to use that freedom to satisfy our sinful nature. It's because grace isn't permission, it's empowerment to start walking differently. If you got delivered from a toxic relationship, why would you show up at their house just to chill? Even if you weren't going to do anything, you still went to that old environment, opened that old door, and entertained that old voice. That's not strength, that's self-deception. The enemy doesn't care if you don't drink. He doesn't care if you don't sleep around or if you don't dress immodestly. He just wants you around darkness long enough so that your guard drops. You cannot claim to love Jesus while voluntarily celebrating what he came here to destroy. Light and darkness do not blend together. Light destroys darkness, and some of you are called to expose it. But some of you guys are saying this is freedom, when it's really just temptation, desires, compromise, and sin masked behind a Bible verse. How ironic is that? So let's be honest. Does your decision glorify God, or is it truly just about how close you can get to sin without feeling guilty? And that's all I got for you guys. I'm going to catch y'all.